look at the NDDC's Act, there is one act that has no punishment for whatever you do. And when you don't have deterrent measures, definitely abuse of office becomes impossible. Then number two, there's over-politicization of the commission. And that's why the commission is seen as an instrument to foster political interests. And we think that if you have to pick one, either you want to play politics or you want development. And for us, we have said this commission is for development, not for politicking. So definitely, we're looking at a case whereby you have the loss of NDDC, an MD who sits on a budget of over 400 billion, yet there is no minimum qualification to be MD of NDDC. So we have to have basic qualifications that takes it away from politics. That brings there must be some. You look at NCDMB, for example, you must have 15 years post-qualification experience at management level in oil and gas industry for you to be a secretary of NCDMB. That's a qualification. The same thing in Inland Revenue. The same thing in NCC. Look at all organizations that you can see that are working. They are basic requirements, because once the head is bad, it affects the entire body. We have to look at that. Then secondly, you can see a scenario whereby you have projects. What is project? It's omnibus. It's confusing. You have somebody without going, I don't want to go specific, but you have somebody, for example, who is maybe a pharmacist, or a doctor, being executive director of project. And you have to go and oversee, look at roads, bridges of multi-billion. Then what? You don't have the technical capacity for that. So if you want to be in that sort of position, nothing stops you from being a registered engineer, current registered, and at the end of the day, with minimum of certain level of experience. Because for you to oversight me, or to oversee me, or to supervise me, you should have something, you should know better than me, or at least know what I know. So we are looking at all these lacunas. And again, we saw issue of remittances of payment to NDDC. By virtue of the act, what is the punishment for non-remittance? None. Then secondly, why must Inland Revenue is an agency by government that is supposed to be collecting all these levies and co. So if we rework the laws in such a way the power to collect these revenues lies with Inland Revenue, it cuts away that middle gap of third-party collection agents, whereby we saw it on TV several times when there were accusations and cross-accusations. Oh, when you collect this percent. If Inland Revenue is collecting, Inland Revenue will remonstrate. We saw what happens with TED Fund. We see what happens with NITDA Fund and so many other agencies of government. So we have to amend these laws and make it more workable. And we have to look at certain departments. For example, in the Act of NDDC, where do you have stakeholders management? It's not in the Act. And for goodness sake, peace is key to development of that region, because it's a very, very volatile region. So if you don't have offices, you don't have officers saddled with responsibility, directorates of stakeholders management, issue of peace management becomes difficult. Development becomes impossible. These are some of the things. And again, we have to look at how many politicians do we have on the board of NDDC at a time.